One thing the last year has left me with is a desire to create art without a safe avenue to do so. LA has basically been locked down, and I do feel an itch to write something, but I don't really have a safe means to produce what I've written. But the last year has also given me the opportunity to occupy my sudden flux of free time with an old habit, one that I've always enjoyed but haven't explored too much on this channel. And that old habit is video games. Now, I know the last thing that YouTube needs is another white dude talking about video games and getting into the nitty-gritty of what makes the medium so great and different, but you're getting one anyway! Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Typically, I don't play video games immediately after they come out. Well, because I'm cheap. I can get older video games at a much finer price, and heck, sometimes friends will even lend me games they aren't playing anymore. That being the case of today's topic, God of War, or God of War PS4 as it's sometimes known. This is Slept On Masterpieces. I'm going to come out and say it. The major reason I didn't play this game sooner was because I just didn't care. I'd played the original trilogy of God of War games with my friend Casey growing up and thought, they're fine. A standard beat-em-up action RPG in a kinda cool setting that tries so hard to be edgy. So when the relaunch of the franchise came out, I was like,
we said meh. M-E-H.
But then I started hearing all these interviews from friends and YouTubers about how impactful the game is and how it's really a whole different beast while still clearly paying homage to the original in fun and creative ways, and I started to come around.
Gentlemen, you had my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
Last year, I took the plunge, and man oh man, or should I say, boy oh boy, was what everyone said right on the money. This game is so good that this was me 6 months ago, and this is me now. It left such an impression on me that I literally grew a beard for 4 months so I could cosplay Kratos. Yeah, you could say I liked the game. This game is a masterclass of character-driven narrative. Kratos went from an over-the-top action movie, two-dimensional, boring, albeit fun character to this sympathetic, engrossing father figure who you know truly and deeply loves his son, even though he never says it. It's okay, Kratos, we know you do. And Atreus, it's okay if your dad never says it. Believe me, I know. Man, this bit's getting too real. Abort!
Self-destruct sequence.
This game truly excels at cinematic storytelling while, more often than not, keeping the control of the story in the hands of the player. While there are considerable cutscenes with fantastic voice acting by the likes of Christopher Judge, Sonny Suljic, Danielle Biscuti, and many others, the major influence the story has on the player comes from the well-paced action sequences where you absolutely decimate some amazing set pieces juxtaposed with beautiful, jaw-dropping scenery. But the game doesn't just improve the visuals of the previous games. Gameplay is also greatly improved. Gone are the button-mashing combo moves and the hack and slashing of the past. Now it's more of a defend and react kind of game. In this game, you really have to learn how to read your opponent and use their momentum against them for a much more refined and entertaining combat. The combat in this game is so engaging that playing on the highest difficulty is an absolute delight once you've got it down. The combat works as though there are basically two types of enemy attacks. Ones you can block and ones you can't. The ones that you can block will have a yellow indicator, and if you block a yellow attack at exactly the right moment, Kratos will parry the attack and leave the enemy prone for massive damage. However, if you try to block an attack that isn't blockable, meaning it has a red indicator, it will break your defenses and do massive damage to you. These are the type of attacks that you need to try to dodge and regain your footing. As you slowly hone your playing style, you'll get better at reading the patterns to get to a point where you don't even need the red or yellow indicators to know which attacks to block and which attacks to dodge. This becomes crucial on harder difficulties when the indicators are reduced. Kratos also has a lot of customizable attacks, 2 of which can be assigned to each weapon at a time. Now, typically I didn't change these out too much based on an enemy type, I just found which attacks worked best for me and stuck with them. This is really the only thing I think could have been more nuanced about the mechanics, but frankly, do I really want to spend that much time in menus swapping out moves like this is a Mega Man game? Nah, let's just get to the destruction! On top of this, while you do control Kratos as the player character, you can also indirectly control Atreus by giving him commands on ways that he can assist you in battle. Later on in the game, this balancing act becomes crucial for success. But combat isn't everything when it comes to gameplay. There's also collectibles now, which, unlike in a lot of open world games, are legit fun and for the most part easy to find. These range from lore-specific pieces of loot, to buried treasure you need to solve riddles to find, actual warrior angels in the form of brainwashed Valkyries, the best part of the game, and also glowing ravens because video games.
Rah! I'm eye-catching! Hit me! Rah!
But without a doubt, the biggest improvement in this installment of the God of War series is the narrative. Without spoiling the game too much, in case you slept on it, like me, God of War is about Kratos and his son, Atreus, as they travel to the highest mountaintop in the realms to scatter the ashes of the matriarch of the family. What I find fascinating about this journey is that the beginning is remarkably different than the ones that came before, despite having a similar premise. Once again, Kratos is dealing with the loss of his family, but he's clearly grown and matured since his years of seeking vengeance for the murder of his family and children in Sparta. Also, his wife this time died of natural causes, and left behind not anger, but a sense of grief that Kratos and Atreus have to navigate together to find a sense of closure. At the start of the game, you're not even sure if Kratos even cares about his son, but by the end, you really get an understanding of how deeply Kratos actually does love him. Man, right in the feels. But what really makes this game stand out is its progression. By the end of it, you're not just engrossed in the narrative as it's unfolding, the lore you're uncovering, or the twists you experience, but just how invested the character you find yourself. Kratos is no longer this over-the-top machismo fest that he once was. He's now this relatable, versatile character who just wants the world to be a better place for his son, who's still kind of over the top at some points. I mean, he is still Kratos. This game is art, a shining example of what only video games can do, and why it is a medium that will only grow with time as a way for us to express ourselves. Santa Monica Studios really knocked it out of the park, and I can't wait to see what they do next with God of War PS5? Ragnarok? Whatever they decide to call it. I promise I won't sleep on this one. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. This was something new for me. If you're new to the channel, I do have a few video game sketches, but be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more video game essays like this in the future. Thanks!